Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Pod Guides. I'm Primetime Poulton. With me, the main event, Phil McNulty. You did it.
I got it. I got it right. How you doing, Primetime?
I'm doing great, man. We got a lot of wrestling to talk about.
Some great-ass wrestling this week.
Yeah, man. The weekend was awesome for wrestling. But before we get into that, there are only 5 days left on my U.S. Assassin campaign. We just passed $10,000. So everyone gets a 6x9 print from Dexter Weeks. Plus, my artist, Mike McMahon, he's gone crazy. He said everyone's getting a free sketch card. So when this thing's all said and done, he might have like 400 sketch cards he has to do. So,
oh my God.
Yeah.
That's a commitment, bro.
Yeah, man. We're dedicated, man. We're comic book professionals. I like to consider myself the most professional comic book writer in all of comics. But I figured I'd show off the campaign, share it with people. So
we got 5 days left, right?
Yep. So I'm going to play the trailer for everyone.
U.S. Assassin returns in an all-new 50-page blood-soaked graphic novel written by Mark Poulton, co-creator of Graveyard Shift, featuring artwork by rising superstar Mike McMahon. New villains unite to take on Joe Knight in a story inspired by the Raid and Bruce Lee's Game of Death. Plus, learn the secrets of Project U.S. Assassin. Who is the mysterious Sensei Steel? All this in a Book One reprint featuring a stunning cover by Mark Yoon. U.S. Assassin.
So there you have it, guys. If you've been watching our show, you guys already know the pitch. U.S. Assassin. This is my love letter to 80s action films, 90s comics, and G.I. Joe. It has it all. Great artwork by Mike McMahon. Some of the tiers are our featured tier, which has that awesome Spider-Man homage cover for our Book One reprint. The fan pack also comes with Book Two and a sketch from Mike McMahon. Mike's going to be doing a lot of sketches between the sketch cards and the actual sketches for the reward tiers. He's going to be a busy guy. Then we have the basic tiers. $25 gets you Book Two. $25 also gets you the Book One reprint. We have variant covers by Kevin Sharp and Cedric Nakon. These are fantastic. The Cedric Nakon one's going to be a wraparound cover. Just got the colors in, shared it on Twitter. People were going wild for it. We have the Spider-Man homage cover T-shirt for $25. Then the double tap. You get 2 copies of Book Two, one for yourself, one for a friend, or one to be your reader copy and one to save in pristine condition. That's $40. You save $10 on that. The action pack, that's the Book One and Two combo. All these books come signed by me. The triple threat, $75. You get the first printing of Volume 1, you get the reprint of Volume 1, and you get the Book 2 standard cover. Then the Patriot pack, you get all that stuff, plus a sketch from Mike McMahon. This is my favorite right here, the $200 Foot Locker. There's only 3 of these left.
2 were claimed, it looks like.
Yeah, man. People love the Foot Locker. I think it's safe to say it's going to be a sellout. But you get all 5 books, an exclusive trading card, a print, and not only a sketch from Mike, but a sketch from me. Plus, on top of that, now you get a sketch card from Mike, and you get all our stretch goals, which is a trading card and the Dexter Weeks print. So you're getting a ton of stuff for $200. It's the best value. And then finally, $300 our retailer pack. You get 10 copies of Volume 1, 10 copies of Volume 2, a ton of promo items for your store to help you sell the book, and this beautiful 24 by 36 inch poster featuring U.S. Assassin and Slither. This is going to look great in your store, letting people know you proudly sell U.S. Assassin in your fine establishment. Retailers, bite on this, man. It's a great deal, and it gives me an excuse to print up the poster so I can get one for myself. But that's enough comic talk. We're going to close election day, so vote with your wallets, man. Vote U.S. Assassin, Bazooka Dog 2020. It's the way to go. All right. So we got some Impact Wrestling to talk about. Actually, before that, now I didn't watch all of Hell in a Cell, but I did watch the Roman Reigns match.
The best man in the biz right now. What a match. What a story. Roman Reigns is he's on another level. Like, he needs to be making it's not gonna be long before he leaves and starts making movies. Because we finally had the replacement for John Cena. We can say Vince McMahon was right, but he did it the wrong way. Had this been earlier, WWE would have taken that dip that it's been on. It's slowly working its way back because SmackDown's ratings are increasing, but man, Roman is the shit. He is the man.
This match, the storytelling in this match was so good. At the end, when Jimmy Uso came out and Roman Reigns broke down and was crying, the dude's a great actor.
I can't believe they hid a guy away from us for so long with the big dog and Superman. This is the guy that we want, and apparently he's going to get new music too, so it's going to be good.
You know who else was great in this match? Paul Heyman on the outside. He looked like he couldn't believe what a badass Roman Reigns is. He looked scared of his own client.
He's never been that way with Brock Lesnar, which just elevates Roman.
Yeah. This has to lead to Roman versus Rock at WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think the Usos finally accept him as their leader eventually? I mean, Alpha and Sika, they're all on board.
I don't think they're going to do it until The Rock comes in, and I think those two will then start beating down on The Rock, and that'll get them over as heels and get Roman over as a heel. And we're going to want to root for The Rock, and I think he's putting Roman over.
Yeah, that's the only way to go. Who would have thought Roman Reigns is the best thing in wrestling right now?
Well, we kind of knew it, but we for years have been saying he could be so good, and they just won't let him be.
Yeah. So Bound for Glory was this weekend. I have my Bound for Glory hat on. Did you have a chance to watch it?
Yeah, I watched it. Good pay-per-view. Good pay-per-view. Impact was the best thing about wrestling outside of Roman Reigns. But as the best company this week, by far and away has been Impact. With Tuesday's episode was one of the best professional wrestling endings I have seen in decades. It was an Attitude Era finish with all the fixins.
So there was a couple heartbreaking moments in Bound for Glory. One, our man Heath. You know, we at the LaPod Gods, we absolutely love Heath, and you knew as soon as he got in the ring and he did his first move, you knew something was up with him. He looked hurt. I think the original ending was he was supposed to win the gauntlet, but he got dumped out second to last by Sami Callihan, and his best friend Terry Rhino got the win. I just feel so bad for the guy.
Yeah, him and Alex Shelley, both dudes are at the peak right now. So let's hope for a speedy recovery for both those dudes.
Yeah. Other notable moments from the pay-per-view. I just knew it. Eddie Edwards, he taps out to Ken Shamrock. Ken went in the Hall of Fame. The Rock inducted him. This was his weekend. So my boy took the L. Impact isn't kind to Eddie Edwards.
That's why we root for him.
Yeah,
he's the
ultimate underdog.
He's the Daniel Bryan of Impact. The guy who's always going to be there, who's not the biggest, not the strongest, not the fastest, not the best on the mic, but that's why we root for him.
Yeah, and I want to say Sami Callihan, I thought looked great. It looks like he lost some pounds.
He did. I think that match was a standout. Rich Swann getting basically the story of a lifetime, gold right on a silver platter for him, served right up to him. And Moose EC3 was an emotional match. That ending when he says to Moose, "Control your narrative." I'm getting goosebumps. Getting goosebumps right now thinking about it. It was just so good.
Yeah. We dogged Rich Swann through this whole build, but he came in looking great. They said he gained 25 pounds of muscle, but he looked super lean, I guess, because of the, he's just all muscle now. He looked fantastic. It was a great match. So I'm happy for him. Like you said, the EC3 Moose match, that was fun. It was like a cinematic match. EC3 has become, well, even when he debuted as EC3, he was a great character, but now he's just like a captivating storyteller.
I'm excited for his next journey. Hopefully, maybe he goes to AEW. I think only time will tell.
Yeah, so he's in Ring of Honor right now. What I would love to see, Villain Enterprise is sort of without. It doesn't really exist right now because Marty's been benched. But there's people that were members at that stable who are kind of directionless. Maybe they can join EC3's cult.
Hopefully, he controls the narrative.
Yeah. So this week's episode of Impact, it starts off with a brawl between Rich Swann and EY. EY's not taking that loss very well. They end up brawling out to the ring. Our least favorite person and that holds power in wrestling, Scott D'Amore. He comes out. He tries to restore order, and basically Rich Swann just tells Scott D'Amore that if EY wants his rematch, they can do it right now. Rich Swann doesn't care that he's just in his slacks. he's a fighting champion, so we get the rematch right there, and Rich Swann beats him in his bare feet.
I don't know. Great for Rich Swann. Love the fact that great storytelling is a great result, and I like that they're starting to build him up. I don't know if I really get into this Rich Swann character, especially later in the night when he's hanging around with losers. So you don't know what to take of it.
So Rich Swann gets the win. Next up, Havoc. She exits a room, and Nevaeh's waiting for her. Basically, she just confirms that Father James Mitchell is back. This wedding stuff was a lot of fun this week on Impact.
It was a nice wrap up to certain things, and it leads into another story. This is what we say every week. Impact with the storytelling knocks it out of the park all the time. They make you want to watch the next episode.
Then we get the rest of the knockouts. They're waiting outside Scott D'Amore's office. The knockout tag team titles are back, and everyone is pairing up. And we said this since Slammiversary. Everyone in the knockouts division has like a best friend. Everyone except Alicia Edwards.
and she didn't help her cause later in the night either.
No, but I thought she was great this week. We'll get into it when we get to her match. But we have Brian Myers versus Tommy Dreamer in a Halloween hardcore match. First off, Brian Myers was awesome in the pay-per-view. I thought he had the best showing of anyone at the pay-per-view. He eliminated a ton of people. He was wearing his Monster Abyss homage gear. I don't know if you picked up on that, but he was he represented it well. He was eliminating people left and right like he was a monster.
Just give this man the X Division title. Just give it to him. He deserves it. He's rocking and rolling. The match that he did against Tommy Dreamer tonight was fun. It was a nice throwback to a Tommy Dreamer style match and a fun ending, which I'm sure you had the result on that.
Yeah, so Dreamer comes out. He's honoring Road Warrior Animal again, like he did on the pay-per-view. He has the face paint. He's wearing his Animal t-shirt. He picks up this trash can that looks like he's struggling with, that's very heavy, and he puts it in the ring. So something's in there. And it turns out it was Hornswoggle. And Hornswoggle helps Tommy Dreamer get the win. Hornswoggle was at the pay-per-view too, and he and Brian Myers eliminated a wrestler, and then Brian Myers turned on him. So Hornswoggle gets a little bit of revenge, but Brian Myers has looked great since he's debuted on Impact. You say give him the X Division title. I feel like he's making a case for himself where he can be a world champion.
Yeah, I think so. I think Matt Cardona may be Impact bound, considering the gang's all showing up. But to me, that's entertaining. That's fun.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, they got Heath, they got Swoggle. Matt should just join all his buddies in Impact Wrestling. I think it's a great fit for him.
Best company out there right now. And I'm not saying that because we're the only podcast who seems like it covers Impact. The reason why we cover it is because we love it, because it's been the best of the past since Slammiversary.
So next up, we have Heath and Rhino backstage. They're being interviewed about Rhino's victory at the pay-per-view, and then both Rhino keeping his job, Heath getting a job, and they keep kayfabing the injury to Heath, which I thought was funny.
It's coming out next week that he's injured and they can't sign a non-injured guy to a contract. So when he comes back, we're starting from square one again.
Yeah, but Rhino did say he got to call his shot. So whenever Heath's ready, they're getting a tag team title shot, unless things change along the way. It's funny thing though, Hernandez was never eliminated from that call your shot gauntlet. He went between the ropes to chase after Falaba.
Here comes the Eddie Kingston. I was never eliminated.
So Reno Scum, they corner Falaba backstage. They want Hernandez money, and Falaba, he said he stole the money, but he stole it for Johnny Bravo. He puts all the blame on Johnny Bravo. So this plays into our ending, which I honestly didn't see coming. So just know they've planted a seed that Hernandez and Reno Scum are after Johnny Bravo.
This is gonna be so good. I'm just waiting to get to the ending.
Yep. So then we got Triple XL versus the Rascals. I love this match. I love the serious the serious side of Triple XL. I thought they looked great in this match, and I was really surprised they got the victory.
I came in thinking these are two tag teams I could give two shits about, and by the end of it, I bought Triple XL.
Yeah, man. They look like monsters, and they're like 800 pounds combined. They should be monsters.
Mm-hmm. Larry D, I like it. I like the turn.
Yep. All right, so next we get a segment with Scott D'Amore. We get a lot of Scott D'Amore in Impact. Maybe that's my one criticism.
Too much Scott D'Amore. You're absolutely correct.
Maybe when he finally gets his comeuppance, that'll be that's what it's building to. EY or Heath are gonna kill him. But he's with Deonna Purrazzo, Kimberly, and Deanna's
worst segment by far. I literally skipped this. That he was such a bad over actor, and not like in a good way. This barrister dude, it completely took me out of the show up until the end. I was literally not caring after this segment. That's how bad it was.
They should have got smart Mark Sterling, coming off his main event run on AEW. They already got Brian Myers and Swoggle and Heath, bringing another member of the Major Wrestling Figure podcast. It would be awesome. And it makes sense. He's a lawyer.
He's cross-promotional.
Yeah. So then we get Gia interviewing the Machine Guns. They're talking about Alex Shelley's injury and that he'll be back. But big surprise, Triple XL interrupt the interview. And, the Machine Guns, they're baby faces, but they get like kind of short with other teams. Like they act like they're, they're the best tag team in the world, right? So they kind of act like it. They have that attitude, and Triple XL wasn't having it, man. They crushed Alex Shelley. They left him lying on the ground.
I enjoyed it because I like Saban's snacks comment made me go, ooh. And then when they paid him off for it, I'm like, yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, so Alex Shelley's going to be out for a while. They need to put Chris Sabin in the X division.
Yeah, because that X division match was another I don't give two shits about. Somehow Rohit wins all the time now. I mean, he won at Bound for Glory, and then I didn't care about his backstage segment with Jimmy Jacobs. So I just don't give a title about a belt that used to be my favorite thing when it was TNA.
Yeah. So Scott D'Amore's in the ring. He brings out Deonna Purrazzo and her entourage, and basically he says Su Young's the champion. She can have a rematch, or they can go through all this legal hassle. She takes the rematch, but Su Young comes out, ends up choking out everyone with the mandible claw. She even went after Scott D'Amore, which thank you. Su Young just rises to the top of my list of favorite knockouts.
Power ranking: Su Young 1.
Yep, Taya 2. So after that, here's where we get Rich Swann hanging out backstage. You said he's hanging out with a bunch of losers. He's hanging out with the Rascals, but someone who isn't a loser shows up. Moose.
He's $1 million. When he came in, I'm like, this is phenomenal. He came in and says, I'm the TNA champion. That means you number 2. I can understand why you're happy and you're celebrating. And just the way he carries himself and the way he delivers, it's very much that Jericho suit promo. The way he carries the belt, the way he talked down to him, the way he explained how he's better than him and why he's better than him. Moose is just so good. I hope they don't. I hope he's not the first feud. I'm glad they set it up like Sami Callihan. So it seems like they're setting up many contenders for Rich Swann, but I hope it's ultimately Moose who takes it from him.
Yeah, the Rascals have to hold back Rich Swann, but Willie Mack gets in his face. So it looks like we'll get Moose Willie Mack for a bit. Then we get some highlights from Ken Shamrock's Hall of Fame induction. We got The Rock making the induction, but also videos from Bret the Hitman Hart, which I thought was awesome. So congratulations to Ken Shamrock. I don't like seeing him beat my guy Eddie Edwards, but man, he deserves the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, good choice. Nice to bring some relevancy back.
Then we get Ethan Page getting into it with the Good Brothers. The North, they won the tag team championship at the pay-per-view. Didn't see it coming. You and I we've both been on that Good Brother ship. We thought they were getting the gold. The whole company's built around them, and even Ethan Page kind of makes a remark that the company made a big mistake giving them all the money.
Ethan Page is gold, and he's good as gone. I think this is an attempt. I think they realized. I think the Guns may have been supposed to hold on to it. I don't know if the Alex Shelley injury, if it happened during the match or what happened, it was a pre-existing injury prior to there. I think maybe the original finish was have the Guns go over, so it just leads to a 2-on-2. And I think maybe that injury said, you know what, let's give it to Page and the North.
Yeah, Alex was injured prior to the match. Mm-hmm. That's why they had Josh Alexander do the pile driver on the stage to get him out of there. Mm-hmm. Great showing by Chris Sabin though in that match. He they gave him the heart of a champion fighting. Mm-hmm. So he looked awesome in the pay-per-view. But it looks like we're going to get the North's first program is going to be with the Good Brothers. Do you think the North are just transitional champions, or do you think?
I think they'll hold it to January. I think they'll hold it to January, and I think we're not going to see them face the Good Brothers until January. I think they'll take another step back.
So we get a segment with Rohit Raju and Jimmy Jacobs, which really isn't much to talk about. Then another wedding party segment where Johnny Bravo's pissed off at Fala. And then we finally get a match. We get Kira Hogan and Tasha Steelz versus Alicia Edwards and Jordan Grace. I thought Alicia Edwards was great in this. Wrestle House has done her wonders character-wise. She's very entertaining now.
Good match. Can't say anything bad about the knockouts right now. Maybe Nevaeh is the only one, but otherwise, I'm in on everything. This besides the Deonna Purrazzo segment, which sucked ass. Otherwise, their in-ring work has been always sort of what we said. We always want to see it.
So Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz get the W. They're building up for this Knockouts Tag Team title tournament. Alicia Edwards without a partner because Jordan Grace wants nothing to do with her after this match. But it was a lot of fun for what it was. Then we get Taya and Rosemary. And Taya is trying to tell her about Johnny Bravo, because Johnny Bravo snapped at her last week and said, once they're married, Rosemary will do whatever he tells her to do.
Mm-hmm.
And Taya, being the best friend that she is, she wanted Rosemary to know about this, but she didn't really get the chance to tell her. And then we're off to the main event. We get the wedding ceremony. The wedding party comes out. They're all dressed in costumes for Halloween. Father James Mitchell comes out. Johnny Bravo comes out, and then finally Rosemary comes out, and she's dressed as Beetlejuice.
I loved how Crazy Steve brought her to the ring. That was just a nice little touch, a nice little history moment. But I thought for sure the entire time that wasn't Fala in the Stay Puft costume. I thought it was going to be somebody else, and that was going to attack. And when the wedding went off without a hitch, I was like, oh, wow. And then the lights went out.
Yeah, the lights go out. When they come back on, Johnny Bravo's been shot.
You heard the gunshots, and what? What?
And Tommy Dreamer is by the body, and he screams Bravo, and they go off the air.
Who shot Bravo? Bravo! Yep. So good. Do you think he's dead, or do you think he's dead, or do you think he'll be in the hospital?
I think he's still alive. I think they wanted to kill him. Father James Mitchell kept making a point that Bravo was a virgin. So this was some sort of virgin sacrifice. I think this whole wedding ceremony was. maybe they're trying to bring back Abyss.
I think because they do the list of suspects, I think it may be Rosemary who shot him.
Yeah. You're probably right. And you know what? Maybe did Fala take his mask off when they came back?
They did.
Oh, he did.
That was the first thing I checked.
So there you have it. Another incredibly entertaining episode of Impact Wrestling. It's the best show there is. You said it, and I stand by it. I'm all about Impact Wrestling.
Best 2 hours of professional wrestling weekly.
Absolutely. So you want to talk a little AEW?
Let's talk about AEW. Much improved episode since last week. My personal opinion, I feel we got back to basics. We set up simple storytelling. We're going for Full Gear, which is in 2 weeks. So not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. It opened up with the star of stars, Wardlow. It was a promo between with MJF, talking about if he'll be jealous of Wardlow, but that Sammy Guevara MJF exchange was money.
Yeah, that was great, and MJF kind of threw some hints in there. Still that dissension between him and Wardlow, because MJF said, when Wardlow wins the world title, MJF becomes world champion. He's going to pull a $1 million man like when Andre won the world title and claim it for himself.
It was so funny when Wardlow slapped him on the back and went, "Sure." But alas, we didn't get that. We got an incredible match between pure strength of Wardlow and a Hangman Page, where it took 2 buckshot lariats to take the big man down after an F10, and Hangman rolled out of the floor after it. Just a phenomenal match.
Yeah, this was a great match. It should have been the main event.
Mm-hmm.
we'll talk about Kenny versus Penta, which on paper sounds awesome, but Hangman versus Wardlow was the way better match in my opinion. Better storytelling. Hangman had to beat this monster, and it was he had to get him off his feet. I thought it was awesome.
It was. I would have. I think the Kenny Omega match was would have been a good start off match, but they're building Kenny. They're gonna see him in the main event. His intro just is hysterical. I love it each week. But next up we get Matt Sydal versus Eddie Kingston, and what was a straight up job match, an enhancement match for Kingston, as he will go, I guess, face to face next week with Moxley before their title opportunity.
Yeah, this is a great win for Kingston. I'm surprised that the way they're using Matt Sydal. He's a AEW dark guy and Dynamite jobber.
He's got to be on a limited contract. I think. Yeah. Unfortunately, I think that slip on the ropes just killed all the momentum that he may have had. Not a lot of good momentum with guys who are your wild cards. You think about it. Brian Cage and Matt Sydal have kind of been floundering a bit, which is surprising for both talents, considering they came off great runs on Impact.
Yeah.
But it ends with Eddie Kingston basically having Matt Sydal pass out and then not letting it go till Sydal said he quit, and then he went, "I'm sorry." When he apologized so sincerely afterwards, Kingston, I said immediately, should be teaching all these guys how to pull stories out of matches and before and after quick promos. Because that little moment of "I'm sorry" won the whole entire segment for me.
Yeah, they do. They did a little thing on BT, I think it was last week, where they just kind of put Eddie Kingston on the spot to do a promo about trick-or-treating. And, it was just this little throwaway thing, but even that was entertaining. He brought Santa Claus into it, which was ridiculous. But, the guy has the gift of gab. He's awesome on the mic.
So next up, we had back-to-back promo segments, essentially. We get a sit down with FTR and the Young Bucks. Does it do anything for you?
Not really. I just feel like it was a chance for the Young Bucks to talk to their good friend Excalibur. FTR wasn't even needed for this segment, and it didn't really add anything to their program, I thought.
I'm glad they left.
Yeah,
saying this is not for us. The stipulation where the Bucks will never challenge for the tag titles again. The only way the way I would love to see it is if they win it, if they lose it, and they challenge anyway, and that be that sort of dickish. That makes more heel quality than actually win it. But I'm sure we'll do a prediction show at the end of next week's episode. Then next up we had the Town Hall with the Inner Circle and MJF. What about this segment for you?
I liked it. They had wrestlers asking questions. They had Luchasaurus, Peter Avalon, and then the big surprise, Eric from Cody, Wyoming, Eric Bischoff. It's kind of weird that they would fly him out. He had to have been in Florida for business or something, because I don't see them flying him out from Wyoming to ask some questions. But I thought MJF did really well answering the questions, and I really loved the thing with Ortiz and Sammy, that they're showing their true colors, that they don't like this guy, they don't want him in the Inner Circle. Meanwhile, Santana is like, he likes the jacket, he's wearing it, so Inner Circle split.
I really love this. It's so entertaining. I think this did more wonders than the Le Dinner Debonair. I bought into this segment. The fact when Tony finally says, "Shut up, Jericho," to answer the question, I just was so entertained throughout the entire thing, and it's a nice thing to get ready for next week. I'm excited for that tag match between Ortiz and Sammy against Wardlow and MJF. Obviously, MJF and Wardlow are going to win, but I really just love the dimension of the characters, and kudos to Jericho getting in with Bischoff. You always hated me, Bischoff. It was just pure entertainment. I think Jericho was probably like, I need to get a serious one this time.
I'm surprised Wardlow wasn't out there with MJF.
Well, I think, I love when someone loses earlier in the night and they don't come back. I think that's good, continuity throughout.
Yeah.
Next up is probably the worst thing about AEW this week. That Cody Orange Cassidy rematch. Remember when Cody was using sledgehammers to break thrones? Good times.
So this was kind of weird. So they have the lumberjacks and Trent and Chucky T. They're the first ones to break rules, and they start like beating up Cody. Then the Dark Order gets involved, but it turns out that it's actually Arn Anderson who helps Cody win. He hits Orange Cassidy when no one's looking. Even Cody doesn't see it. Do you think Cody's going to find out and there's going to be friction between him and Arn, or do you think Cody's turning to the dark side?
No, Cody's turning to the dark side. I don't really know. I think Cody's so far up his own ass right now that he's not seeing the bigger picture, and he's gonna beat Darby on Full Gear. That's because Darby has been shown to be an idiot for the past couple weeks. So what was once my favorite title to watch be defended every week is now, ever since they took it off Mr. Brody Lee, I don't care anymore.
And how about how terribly booked Orange Cassidy has been? Coming off a huge program with Chris Jericho, where Jericho made him a made man, to then have him get squashed by Brody Lee, and then do a draw with Cody to getting pinned by Cody. They elevated him, and then they brought him down. And now he's in a feud apparently with Johnny Silver.
It's the Triple H factor. Remember when Jericho was rising up and Triple H beat him and it killed all that? Remember, him and Chris Benoit were going for the title. They're going for the title.
Yeah.
And then Triple H brings him down with the last man standing match. And you're just like, what do these guys got to do? And again, I think I said it before, Cody and the Bucks do not know how to book. Kenny, I think, does. And I think that's why we're enjoying the Kenny Omega matches, because he's not beating anybody out of the ordinary. He's not beating guys who we want to go to the top spot. He's beating credible foes and doing it in a manner that we understand I think he's going to beat Hangman. And we're leading to him defeating Moxley, because this is a storyline that's been building since Full Gear a year ago.
Can you believe Orange Cassidy has gone from beating Chris Jericho to not even making it onto the main card of Full Gear? He's on the buy-in wrestling a guy who's going in the opposite direction. He's going straight up Johnny Silver. Johnny Silver is about to eclipse Orange Cassidy as far as who's the bigger star.
This was this match, and I don't to put as I understand they're like, oh, here comes Serena Deeb. We signed her, but she's the NWA champion. It just shows you that Thunder Rosa is probably WWE bound. And I think that maybe there was friction between Eva Lise and Diamante, and they think they picked the wrong one. It's just weird. AEW's been up and down so much, and I actually pull out my phone to watch Halloween Havoc for a bit, because it was good. It's AEW has been their segments have been really good or really bad, and between the squash match and the orange match, I just didn't feel like an AEW fan for that moment.
Yeah,
it's kind of weird. VSK versus Shawn Spears ends up with Spears winning a quick match. I'm all about rebuilding Spears, man.
Yeah, no, they showed his record. He's 14-2. Which is surprising because he hadn't got hardly any main TV time. He's been relegated to dark, and it almost seemed like Tully wasn't interested in him. But now, Tully's back by his side. Ever since that promo where Tully stepped out from behind Shawn Spears, seems like a badass.
I hope he
acts like a badass.
I hope he beats Scorpio Sky. We know they're heading to. I think, is that match next week before Full Gear, or is it going to be at Full Gear?
I think it's next week.
I hope they put Spears over. I think he's, I'm always for the guy with the story over the better wrestler. So I think this is my match of the week so far. It was Penta El Zero Miedo versus Kenny Omega. Heel Omega is so fun to watch, isn't he?
Yeah, no, his entrance is great. Just the little characteristics that he does, he's awesome. There's things we as fans, I think we knew we wanted before the companies figured it out. One was we wanted heel Roman Reigns, and once we got him, he's magnificent. And we wanted the cleaner Kenny Omega, and it's lived up.
When he lifted his shirt up to show the belt that he beat Penta with, Ray for, to put in his brother's face and lay it in front of him was so good. It's so shitty, but so awesome and arrogant. And this guy is gonna. I hope he mops the floor with Moxley. He's got these promos are gonna be so good amongst each other. It's gonna be so good to see these two.
Yeah, Moxley. I thought the promo with Moxley was great. Eddie Kingston's bringing out like some of the best promos from Moxley in a while.
Yeah, it actually makes me interested in Moxley. It's a nice feud to heat up. I think because Kenny's been on that trajectory of going up, and we've seen Moxley just stay stagnant. So it's nice the fact that this little Kingston one is sort of putting that trajectory up to a match we want to see.
Yeah. One other thing I wanted to talk about, you mentioned Serena Deeb. That girl that she wrestled, they need to hire her. She was awesome. She was like just a little female shooter. She was awesome. She didn't do anything bad in that match. She was just great.
That's what. And I didn't like Sheeta and Nyla again. I mean, their booking has been so weird. So weird. I don't know if it's Christopher Dan because being the Elite, you've seen he's more of a booker now. I don't know who's booking this women's division, but man, you need to get the title on Baker yesterday.
Yeah, agreed, 100%.
But that wraps up AEW. A nice little hype before we get to the go home show on Wednesday, which hopefully will be a winner.
Yeah. Impact and AEW both announced matches for next week. Impact, we're getting, I think, Gallows versus Ethan Page, and we're getting a tag team match, Rich Swann and Eddie Edwards versus Sami Callihan and Eric Young. So some good matches to look forward to on Impact. And then Dynamite, we have, I think we're getting Sean Spears and Scorpio Sky.
We're getting Ortiz and Sammy against Wardlow and MJF. We're getting Jericho on commentary.
Yeah, so man.
It's gonna be. I'm excited. It's gonna be a good. It's gonna be a good week next week. I think Impact was just the winner this week, so we'll see what they got in store. Anytime there's a gunshot at a wedding, that's gonna be the wrestling show of the week for me.
Yeah. Oh, and we're getting the Dark Order versus Cody and Gun Club, which they haven't been on Dynamite yet.
Billy's son is eating that pin.
I hope so, because Colt's going to be with the Dark Order, which that storyline's really been dropped. I mean, they brought it up kind of a little bit when they were both Colt and Silver and Reynolds were interviewed last week, but I don't know.
I enjoyed the shows more when Cody was awesome.
Yeah, no, I like Cody. I'm a Cody fan too. I actually just got a Stardust figure for my collection, but yeah, I agree. I think it was better when Mr. Lee was champion, and he was mentoring Colt Cabana. It was great stuff.
Yeah. So let's hope after Full Gear ends, we get a whole new set of storylines, because it's probably going to be All In. Is their next pay-per-view, and that's probably when we'll get Moxley and Omega, and let's hope we get something good from that.
Yeah. So, all Are you all moved in to your new place?
I'm all moved in. Oh, I passed my praxis exam yesterday, so I am on my way to certification. I am finally able to finish work. I know I feel like I'm saying that every week, but I'm finally able to finish it tonight after this podcast. I'm going to go eat with the girlfriend, watch a movie, and finish the Eddie Edwards print. So I am stoked at what I have for the rest of this week.
Awesome, man. So where can people follow you at, Phil?
You can, just like my students have found the show. So if you're watching out there, hey kids, you can see me at Twitter and on Instagram at Animated Film.
And I'm on Twitter and Instagram at Coney Waves. Make sure you subscribe to Primetime Poulton, hit the notifications, and don't forget to check out my Indiegogo campaign, US Assassin. Only 5 days left. And, it always happens. There's a big push at the end, so it gets real exciting. So election day, most people are going to be following the presidential election. I'm going to be following my campaign, probably live streaming, promoting it. I'm looking forward to it, man. But I'm also looking forward to talking some wrestling with you next week, Phil. So, everyone, thanks for watching, and we will see you guys next week. There we go.